Hello all, it's Lace, and this is my first video in persistence. I'm very excited about persistence. Persistence means that anything that I sell or buy or kill or whatever, I get to keep. It's not going to be wiped anymore. But also a big part of this is a hospitaller program and trying to make sure people know about that. When I say hospitaller, that means that I'm here volunteering my time to answer any questions. Think of it as a Reddit AMA 24/7 anytime you see somebody with a purple tag. And today I got to experience some new questions, and because of that, it made me decide to make a video on a couple things that I had not covered previously because I really had only looked at it from my personal new user experience, not everybody else's. So I'm going to go over those things. So one of the things I want to cover are third-party sites when you're crafting. Somebody was trying to craft a sheet today, and they went to a third-party site. And I'm not going to call out names or anything, but it said it only took 1 ingot to craft a sheet. I've known for a very long time that it takes three ingots to craft any kind of sheet. It doesn't matter if it's meteoric, copper, iron, what's the other one? White iron, iron. It's 3 ingots. But this third-party site listed it as only taking 1. So they're sitting there failing and, banging their head. Now, of course, the thing to say is go buy the recipe for 250 gold and you'll have the recipe. The problem is not every city sells every recipe. So if you want to be a blacksmith and you're trying to find a recipe, you don't know where to go to find that recipe. Or if you're trying to be a carpenter and you're trying to make something, because not every city has every recipe. So, and I've also talked about, while I really think it's wonderful that the game allows you to craft things if you know the components. That's what this person did, but they went to a third-party website that had the incorrect recipe. Now, we just went from R31 to R32, which means some things change. Every time we go through an iteration, recipes can change. So third-party websites, while they're great and wonderful, they sometimes don't have the latest information. It depends on who's running the site and who updated it. So don't think that that's the be-all, know-all and it's bugged, because this guy actually said, well, maybe it's bugged. No, it wasn't bugged. It was just that it was written wrong on the website. Don't rely on them as being the gospel. So I'm out here in Ardoris, and I was in multiplayer mode. I went to single just so I could shoot this, and unfortunately not answer questions, but the basic thing is I put on my hospitaller tag so that I could answer questions from people, and that's how it directed me to make this video, because there's some answers that maybe I haven't covered in videos, or maybe people aren't reading the manual, which is very long, even though there's some shortcut manuals, different manuals. If I look at my inventory, there's the new player handbook, which is kind of a condensed thing of player guides. Some people may not have, paid attention to that or whatever, and kind of glossed over it. So kind of just going out into the community is what helps us all identify what people want to know. What came out of my venture in this time period was people are relying on third-party websites, which are not always up to date, especially after this quickly of an iteration change. The second thing is maybe there's something we failed to cover in the tutorials, or something we've failed to cover in possibly new player handbooks, and that's chat. That's just generally talking in chat. You came into the game and you had one chat, and I'm going to click on this little gear symbol here, and you're going to see that everything's checked. Well, actually, I've unchecked some things, but everything was checked and you only had one. The thing that you can do is add multiple chats. This allows you to, like me, I break out guild, whisper, and tells, local, zone, party, guild, whisper, and nobles. So that's basically my chat tab. Now I can also, let me click this. I can give it a name, and I can say chat, because this is chat. That's what it is. When I do that, now that's called chat, and I'm going to call this one, if I click on it, I can call this one everything. And now that's everything. So now I know this is my chat tab, this is my everything tab, And you know, this is going to depend on how you want to customize it based on that. But once you click on a tab, the little gear icon highlights, and that's how you can segregate what you're hearing in that tab. Um, Probably one of my only complaints, and I will need to feedback this, and maybe you guys can too, is if I look at this and the distinction, the NPC distinction, miscellaneous distinction, there's not something that says crafting, because sometimes I just want to filter out all that crafting. If I'm in a big crafting run, I know that I just put in 4 animal skins and a curing salt and whatever else I put in there. I don't really need to know that 4 animal skins and 1 curing salt were destroyed in making my 1 piece of leather or whatever it was, whatever the recipe was. So I'd kind of like to see a recipe usage filter. Not that I want to see that what I crafted, because what's going to be important in that is when you're crafting individual items, like let's say copper ingots, and you make that into hilt, and you craft an exceptional hilt, and right now the itemization isn't there to where it says you have an exceptional hilt. You have 5 exceptional ingots. If you take 1 exceptional hilt and 5 exceptional ingots, that long sword that you're going to create, well, actually 5 is probably a 2-handed sword, but current recipe, that you know, you have exceptional this and 5 this, it should bump your chance. Not in the game yet, but because the partial part is in there for exceptional, that would be something I'd want to see. I don't care about the ingot mold taking durability damage. I don't care that I used a chunk of coal or whatever. Just expect things to improve. This is not launch. So that's chat tabs. So the next thing I want to talk about is talking to your friends. Now remember, when you see somebody in the world, you can right click them and add them to your friends list. It's not going to come up when I click on myself, and I am in single player mode, so I can't really demonstrate this. But if you see somebody, you can right click them and there's a thing to add to friends list. Now it's a two-way confirmation. You've added them to yours, but you can't really see them in your friends list until they accept it. And I did talk about this. It'll come up in a little box up here, and when I hit F for friends, anybody that's pending invite will be like right at the top, and there'll be a little green check mark to allow them, you know, allow the double friendship. What this does is 2 things. It allows you to use your teleport scrolls to teleport a friend when you're both in multiplayer online modes, and it also adds maybe an extra thing to give a command to whisper. Now I talked to my friend Jack here. There's not a filter in this yet, but expect that to expand. I talked to my friend Jack and said, can I use you for a demo? And I said, you know, do this and I can whisper them. So now it says to jackknife. That sets it up. Additionally, if I did \L, that takes me back to local. I could do \whisper just because I know his name very well. I could do this, and you have to put the comma. When you put the comma, now you're actually whispering to this character. Hi, Jack, demo here. Okay, and he might reply back, oh, I spelled his name wrong. Well, that's why. Yeah, well, that's a good demo. Okay, so if you spell their name wrong, you're going to get a message back. So let's do this again. Typing it manually. Jack. My God, what's going on with the typing? KNYFE, comma, and hi, Jack, demo here. So now I actually sent it to him. Now I've isolated my chat so that I can see exactly what I do. And you can see where I asked him to let me use him in a demo, and I did. Now I've also got the Nobles chat here and stuff going on. In my everything window, everything's going on there. So that's my whisper. So some people will see, well, to jackknife. And the next time you log in, you're still going to see it. You're going to be like, how do I talk to local? And this question was asked today. It's \L. And now anything I type here goes to local. Now I'm in single player mode, so nobody's going to think I'm drunk or something and type in D's. But that's how it works. So that's how you talk to people and talk in local. Another thing is zone, and this is fairly new. It's only been around for about 1 iteration. It's going to be \Z to go into zone mode. and I can hit enter again, and I am talking in zone. Uh, I spelled horribly wrong, but I'm talking in zone. Now, if I'm in our doors, and this is really only going to apply if you're in multiplayer mode, I can send a zone message. If Depending on your pledge level, you may have in your inventory, well, actually, you're going to have to get it out of your bank, but it's going to be called something called Noble's Magical Discord Orb, and you need to have that on your person. So I'd look for that in your bank, again, depending on your pledge level. Once you have that, you can do \n, and now I'm in the Nobles chat. When I look at my chat tab that just has all chats, this is 2 Nobles. And again, that depends. It's kind of like, I don't know, some older games that I play, like late 90s and stuff, like Dragon Age and stuff. They had GWIS, and it was basically no matter what scene you're in, people could talk. Now, again, this is dependent on your pledge level. So people are going to go, oh my God, why can't we do that? Well, it's a pledge thing, guys, okay? Sorry. It's awesome. But they did add \zone, so that makes it to where you're in the zone, you get to talk about things. You don't get to talk across zones. This is across zones. Zone is only in the zone. And \L is local. \P is party. So like if you're partied up and you got this person, that, \P is to talk to them. \G is going to be G, \G, yeah, ninja. \G is going to be talk to your guild. Now, each time you set up a different chat tab, it's going to remember. So this one's on local, right? And this one's on local. But if I do this one to, let's say, \Jack knife, comma. Oh, still didn't spell it right. We're going to get it right in a minute. \Jack. Oh, and whisper is \W. KNYFE. Why can't I spell that name right? Comma. Hi, Jack demo again, right? Okay, so I did that. When I go to tab 2 is still speaking in local. Tab 3 is speaking to Jack. The everything tab is speaking to Noble. So each tab remembers the last place you type. So if you set up like a guild tab, guild only, then when you type in that window, it's only going to go to the guild. If you set up a chat tab to local, it's only going to go local, and your everything's going to be the last place you talked. But again, to switch, \L local, \Z zone, \N nobles, and then of course a whisper would be \Jack. Let's see if we can do it the right way this time. YFE, comma, and now we're only talking to Jack every time we hit enter and go into that tab. Enter enters you into it, enter escapes you from it. So if you're running around the world and you hit enter and you go, and then you hit enter again, oops, my bad. I don't want to send Jack a bunch of W's, hold on. Enter again, well, Jack's getting the W's or not, and I hit delete. Now Jack gets no W's, because he's really going to think I'm on drugs. He's talking back to me and I'm scrolling around. And anyway, that is a demo on just chatting, setting up some tabs. Another thing is if you're blind like me, not really blind, it's actually I just play it on a big screen and it's pretty far away from me, you can set your font size. So if I set this to 12, I think the default was 14. If I set it to 14, yeah, that's pretty tiny for me because I'm pretty far away from the computer. So I like mine at about 24. It's another feature, and I can just see that better. Again, you can add tabs all you want. What does this button do? I don't know. I think it hides it or docks it. Yeah, okay. And then settings, let's see. Chat bubbles means disable chat bubbles means disable the NPC chat bubbles that pop up around you. Sync with that, not sure. I'm gonna guess that's character animations with that. Click Google keywords. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Continue chat after submit. Disable hide for chat. I don't know what all these are. Opaque background. Means it won't be see-through. No, I like to be able to see my chat window at all times. Profanity filter, very good for a PG thing. If you've got your kid playing, you're going to want to highlight that and set them up. Doesn't mean they can't turn it back off again, but or maybe you just don't want to hear the F word. That's okay too. Uh, Auto hide for chat window. That's going to be if I don't have it persistent and stuff. Anyway, those commands. So based on just a small encounter with one person in the world, we got this whole long video on different things. I hope it helps everybody. Take care, be safe, and happy hunting. And look at my new outfit for videos right now until I get my gear. That'll take a week or so.